Oh, that's lighter. Alrighty.
And don't forget, try out the different modes, whether
Right.
on the street or even on the highway. That way you can. Everybody says you can feel it immediately. So just enjoy, and we'll see you back here in a little bit.
All right, thanks. Oh yes, get a picture of me on that. All right. Gotta get used to the friction zone. Wow, that steering is light. All right. Overall first impressions. Very different machine. Very, very different machine. The steering will take a little bit to get used to. I'm used to the old BMW lately. The friction zone's pretty high out. The navigation looks great. Good acceleration. Brakes are firm on this sucker. That clutch is way out there though. I wonder if yeah, it's got adjustability. I have to adjust the pedal. So let's try this thing. Nice. Now you switch that to going up the navigation. Purposely hitting the manholes just to see, and the difference is immediate on that compared to my old Goldwing. You used to hit bumps in that old Goldwing and that front end was just like jarring. This thing is super smooth just over those bumps. Ooh, I love that. Brake scrap, great. I'm a little shaky on it, but that's my own thing from just the steering is incredibly light. I don't know if you can see down there, but that's your new suspension setup, and that is boy, the difference is amazing on that. Find where all the buttons are. Whoa. She turns in nice. The self-canceling don't seem to click on as much as the old one. Seem to stay on after and you got assholio here. You can really see that suspension just moving in there. Yep, started off in second gear. As usual, the old Goldwing second gear starts are no problem. They are certainly not a problem. The engine noise is a little deeper. Yeah, it sounds a little deeper than the older one. Okay, and it's, ooh, wow, that is a heck of a difference there. I put it in sport mode and yeah, that's definitely twisty road stuff there. Gives it a little pep in the step. Okay, cruise control, set, reset. Kind of clean that up too, the buttons. Used to be a lot more. Buttons are a little bit higher. Thumb wise, everything's pretty close. Yeah, the ones you want, mostly volume and all that, are close enough for you to use. So yeah, not sure what that is. But wow, this thing just eats up the bumps though. I mean, this is not a very smooth road, and I have to say, on my old Goldwing, I had a 2007. And I had the progressive mono tubes on the front, which made a tremendous difference. And I also put the 1,200-pound spring on it from Progressive, which also made a big difference on the whole suspension setup. It made the bike ride much nicer. And then, but this thing here, boy, it's smooth but firm at the same time. You know, I'm gonna get up on the freeway here and check it out. So far, I'm unfortunately I'm liking this a little too much. But, you know, not a lot of turns, but oh, it's smooth in there. Let's see, a little helmet buffer. Let's put this up. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm in a little bubble. Yep. A little bit more wind on the arms. Than I'm used to on the old one. A little bit more on the legs, but you know, nothing that put it in sport mode. Kind of see what we got going here. I'm in fifth gear, and it's definitely got the pull like the old girl. Up in the 6, which is nice to have. Like, I'm kicking right along here at 90. We'll back her down to more respectable speeds. You know, so cruising at 75. Let's hit the. That cruise is set. Pretty good. Not overall that bad. I'll switch her back. Oh, econ mode is like bleh. Let's go to rain. Oh, rain is like there's nothing even there in rain mode. Car seems to be a pretty good mix with the response and everything. It's not terrible. Alright. Woohoo. Love having this windshield though, because I mean, I'm down here in South Florida where, you know, it's February, but it's still about 80 something degrees right now, 76 right now. So yeah, definitely having that's good. I don't mind having a little bit more air compared to the old one, because where I live, the heat really gets to you. Overall, everything's very easy to read. Buttons all seem to be pretty close together, not a big deal. I wish their route had a little bit more turns on it, but it's enough to get you some seat time. But let's see how she does off the line. Definitely sounds good. Definitely got some pep. Yeah, I'll get right up there. You know, I don't rev it all the way up to red line. I mean, it's not my bike, it's a demo, so I'm not gonna horse whip it like it's mine, but just to kind of get a little bit more feel for it. You know, you want to like roll on throttle, same as the old one, but a little bit more peppy, simply because it does have weight loss. But the brakes are grabby. Nice feel to them, like real firm. I haven't even hit the pedal yet. I've just been using the front lever. So, yeah, getting used to that friction zone. It's so far out there. I mean, it's like quarter-inch pull. And, I suppose once I got used to it, it'd be alright, but it seems a little bit too far out for me. You don't have a lot of friction zone to play with on it, which is okay. I mean, but if you're in parking lots and stuff, you know, I like to have a little bit more friction zone so you can turn the sucker around in a little bit easier manner than, you know, all that. So, but she's light on her feet, but she sounds better though. Yeah, I redid the exhaust, so it's got a little bit more deeper throat to it for sure. But I haven't really played with any of this yet. There you go, I'm getting used to that throttle. I gotta adjust this a little too far out from my hand too. Got a good clutch pull. It's not too heavy, it's not too soft, it's about right for me. It's just a little bit too far out, and it does have the adjuster. I should have done that before I got on it, but it's easier. The mirrors are lower than the old one. The mirrors used to be up a little higher, a little bit more in eye line without having to look down, but they're functional. I don't have them completely adjusted, but you know, I don't know if you can see the black GMC coming up on the left, but not bad though. A little warm. Oh, look at that. Air conditioning. Yeah, it's a little warm down here today. Probably hearing the wind. I can hear it in my ears, so bringing it up just a bit. Still got a, yeah, just keep the wind noise down so I can record. My microphone's all screwy. We got to upgrade that. But not bad. Wouldn't mind maybe taking it into a parking lot real quick and just kind of going from there. But love that. So one thing I think every Goldwing owner has been wanting for a very long time is having that adjustability in the windshield. I'm pulling here real quick. Just want to see how it does in a parking lot situation. You know, kind of, you know, low speed stuff. See, yeah. See how easy it is. Okay, let's, a little bit of sand in there, but that's okay. We'll see. The old one I used to be able to turn around in almost a couple parking lot spaces, so we'll see if we can do that with this one. That doesn't do too bad. Yeah, I'm shaky with it because I'm not used to the weight anymore. I ride such a small bike now, but not having that friction zone is, you know, just doing a figure 8 here. You know, doing a figure 8. Not too bad. Little trail brake. Felt really comfortable. The steering felt a lot more stable in that tight turn than my old one did. In the throttle, they've worked out that kink. If you've ridden Goldwings for a while, you know about the surge. You know, how the bike would have that little surge in first gear, and first gear was so low that if you did too much with the throttle, you know, it was jumpy. It really was. It was a jumpy throttle. So that's worked out. That felt a lot more comfortable. It didn't take me that long to get that full lock, you know, feel and turn. It's so much lighter. I mean, it does that. I don't know, the front end just makes a big difference, but it's like much more stable. Ooh, excuse me. Motor, yeah, it sits lower to me. Where's that button? Let's see. So I'm gonna go. Let's see what it does. Okay. There it goes. Oh yeah, she's coming up a bit. Yep, can feel the ass end coming up. Putting it in the 2-up with the bags. Just don't want to firm it up a bit. I don't know why it gives you a green light and you can't go nowhere. Take away your button. Oh boy. All in all, I'm yeah, I've been on a long few miles, but compared to the old one, I like having a little extra wind on my shoulders. Don't mind that at all. Do not mind the, you know, that, yeah, it's a little lighter. It feels lighter for certain. Oh, that's what that is. It's a little vent that pops up. This gives you some more air, I suppose. It sucks it in. Okay. Which is good. You can always have a little bit more air. It's probably why I was like, why am I feeling a little more air? And that thing popped up. There we go. Changed it so the heading's up instead of like the actual direction you're traveling. Yeah, I like having that feature. It's a way more stiff with the 2-up with the baggage on it. I like that. It's a lot more firm. It just feels more planted to me, but I like how firmer bike. I mean, I ride a 1200R BMW, so it's a little bit more sporty than this, but definitely can feel it. Then I'll bring it down back to where it was for Lee, because Lee's going to be riding it. That's pretty easy to use. It's a little bit far for the thumb. I mean, I have decent sized hands, so I kind of have to move a little bit off the handlebar to get that, but it's not too bad. Getting used to that friction zone finally. Once you're acquainting yourself with the buttons and everything, you'll be oh, the fans came on. Ramp and neutral. All in all, it's a good looking machine. It rides really well. I like the white one better. The color really pops on the bike, but great machine.